Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for the qualifying race for race number 13 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. We're here at our second dirt track stop so far this season. This is Fuel Motorsports Park, a track that we're going to get to in a moment actually played a huge part into an eventual champion in this series. But these drivers here today, the non-charter drivers, ready to take to the track for 20 laps of racing. A 20-lap shootout, top 6, will make their way into the main event later on today. This is also the last opportunity for these drivers to be able to make their way into a main event, try and win the main event, and get themselves into the All-Star race, because All-Star race weekend is fast approaching. It's next week for these drivers, should they win a race in a chartered event. And as stated, today's the only other chance they've got to be able to get into that field without having to rely on a qualifying race when we get to the All-Star Open. On the pole position for today's race, it's going to be Michael Wayne Robinson. Robinson has only hopped into that car for the last 3 or so races, and he has made the last 2. And in those last 2, he has finished in the top 10 in both of the chartered races. Right now, running a 4th place average finish. Remember, one of those was a runner-up, and that was back at Texas. Alongside of him is going to be Michael Roode in the 00. Michael Roode looking to make his 3rd start of the season as well. His numbers in the finishing results not quite as good. However, he has got a top 10 and he has a 16th place average finish. RJ Bishop, of course, almost was able to complete a weekend sweep at Michigan. Came up runner-up in the qualifying race and came up runner-up in the actual race to the eventual winner, his teammate Adam Garcia. He's going to start 3rd alongside of Pedro Lucas. Been a while since we've seen Lucas make a start. He's got 3 career starts so far, looking to make career start number 4 here today. 20 laps of racing getting ready to be run. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Take a look down in the description below for your full starting lineup for today's non-charter race, the qualifying session for the Sunoco 400 at Fuel Motorsports Park. As the field rolls off of pit road, believe it or not, we have a former Duracell Cup Series winner at this very track in the field. You saw him right there going by that yellow pedigree Ford of C Dollerton. Now, why I said earlier that Fuel Motorsports Park played a part into who the eventual champion was back in Season 1, C Dollerton had only 1 victory. It came here at Fuel Motorsports Park. He would go on to win the championship. As a matter of fact, we talked the last couple of weeks about the stranglehold Ford has seemed to have on the Duracell Cup Series. Well, Ford has only 1 victory here. I'm sorry, make that, no, it is only 1 victory here. So we got a car in the grass. That was Brad Stover in the 80. Issues for the Snickers Toyota. We'll come back to him in just a moment. But we're getting ready to go green here. Michael Wayne Robinson about to lead them down. He's looking for his first non-charter race win, and he'll get us underway at Fuel. Early issues for the 80 of Brad Stover, as he is on pit road. 3 wide further back in the pack, though. Quentin Moore was in the middle. Adam Sampsell on the bottom. Dylan Schwallenberg was in the middle of that. They're 3 wide, almost up ahead again. Adam Sampsell down the inside of the N Amoedo. A couple of cars actually almost straddling their left sides on the asphalt, trying to look for a little bit more grip. Oh, we got a wreck back there. Schwallenberg up into C Dollerton. Caution's going to fly as Schwallenberg gets hit again. Dawson Wise. Seth Cole involved in the 25. Caution's going to fly for the first time here today. They tried 3 wide several areas of the track and looked like 1 area off of turn 4 just did not work. Dylan Schwallenberg was looking to make his 4th start. Dawson Wise, of course, won the non-charter race last week at Darlington, as Michael Wayne Robinson now crosses the line to pick up the pace car here under our first yellow of the day over Michael Roode, Pedro Lucas, RJ Bishop, and Rob Evans. Big break for Brad Stover. I think he stayed on the lead lap, and with the timing of that yellow, he will remain on the same lap as the leaders, as Schwallenberg saw the damage there. Rear end damage on the back of Seth Cole. Front end damage on the Ream Mustang of Dawson Wise. And I'm pretty certain that the car that Schwallenberg got turned up into was Chris Dollerton. Let's take a look at the right side of his machine as he comes around here, and you can clearly see he did get up into the wall with that Ford. So caution's going to fly here, and let's see with pit road open if anybody comes to pit lane. Nobody amongst the leaders. Everybody's going to stay out, keep that track position. I figured with 20 laps, a 20-lap sprint, nobody was going to have to worry about fuel. And at a dirt track, it doesn't wear those tires down at all. So all these drivers, they're not willing to give up a qualifying spot into the main event to come down and try and top off the fuel tank when it's absolutely unnecessary. Let's go back and see what brought out the first caution of the day out of turn number 4. Saw him 3 wide, a couple of areas of the track, and they were 3 wide here. That's Will Goss going to go up the middle with his DCW Racing teammate. Chris Dollerton was on the top side of that 3 wide, and just they kind of all accordioned up and congested off of turn 4. Schwallenberg spinning. Ooh, Justin Dearborn just barely gets through. Dawson Wise runs into the back of Seth Cole, who then gets into the driver's side door of the 46 of Dylan Schwallenberg. So really, all in all, we had maybe 5 cars involved in this, if you also include the 83 of Dollerton and the 20 of Will Goss. But Schwallenberg goes for a spin on the front straightaway. First caution of the day. Let's go back green. Getting ready to go back green flag racing here. It'll be lap 7 when we are back underway at Fuel Motorsports Park. Nobody involved in that wreck has come to pit road to even repair damage, so subsequently nobody is out of the race. And with the timing of that yellow, Brad Stover actually did get put a lap down, and so therefore he is going to be starting on the inside line here, hoping to see if he can get in front of Michael Wayne Robinson, maybe get another quick yellow. Top 10 as we get ready to go back green. It's Michael Wayne Robinson, Michael Roode, then Pedro Lucas, RJ Bishop, Rob Evans, and Dylan Poteet. Right now, those are the transfer spots. Just outside in 7th is S Ozkan, Laura Chung in 8th, 9th is N Amoedo, and Tristan Allen currently in the 10th position. I was going to go back to the fact that Ford has only 1 victory here. Toyota has 2. The interesting thing is, though, if Chris Dollerton were able to make the main event, then all 3 of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars that would be in the field all would be former winners here, and we'll get to that in just a brief moment, especially we'll talk about that during the main event. As the green flag is back in the air, Michael Wayne Robinson pulling away from Michael Roode. That's the battle for second place as Pedro Lucas took a look to the inside through 1 and 2, couldn't do it, and now here comes RJ Bishop swinging around the outside. Like most dirt tracks, the preferred line is that outside line here at Fuel Motorsports Park. You don't really want to get pinned down on the inside line. Dylan Poteet battling back there with some at Ozkan. That's an important battle because that is for the final transfer spot, and Ozkan just took it. Wow, look at Laura Chung drive it deep there into the corner. And she almost made it stick. Tried to get around the T Amoedo for what would be the 8th position. Not able to do it though. Poteet, Smet Ozkan, Pedro Lucas, good battling here around that transfer spot. Poteet looks low. Oh, I don't think he'll be able to get the power down, though. Here goes the T Amoedo using that preferred outside line. He's going to get around the 31. So right now, Smet Ozkan holds down the 6th position. Up towards the front, they're all spread out. About 3 car lengths between race leader Michael Wayne Robinson back to Roode, another 2.5 car lengths back to Bishop, then another 3 car lengths back to Evans. These drivers, I think, are willing to ride for the moment because they're all in transfer spots to make it into the main event. I think of the drivers up there at the front, the one that's made the lowest number of starts would be that 65 of Rob Evans. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's still looking to make his first Duracell Cup Series start. Right now, he's in line for a transfer spot. As the battle for that transfer spot is on, the final transfer spot, the T Amoedo looking low. Smet Ozkan couldn't make anything happen. Dylan Poteet right there in the vicinity as well. Then you've got the Dodge of Z Stultz trying to close in on this. Stultz has picked up a couple of spots since going back green. Battle up at the front, nothing going on for the top 4. They still remain all spread out. Rob Evans starting to close in maybe a little bit on RJ Bishop. We're going to continue to focus on the 70 of Smet Ozkan here, at least for the second half of this race, unless something brews up in the top 5, because this is the battle for drivers to try and make their way into the main event. You see Dylan Poteet back there in the 31. We mentioned the fact that Chris Dollerton won this race back in Season 1. Poteet was a part of that race, was a chartered ride at the time. I don't recollect where he finished in said race, but he's trying to see if he can get up there around the N Amoedo at least for the 7th position to then set his sights on some S Ozkan for that final transfer spot. What about the former winner here, Chris Dollerton? We know he got some damage there from that wreck. Right now he's in the 21st position. Look at the mayhem he's in. 3 wide up ahead of him with Dearborn, Moore, and Osborne. Oh, Quentin Moore! Off the nose of Justin Dearborn, he kept it going. Nice save by the 66. That could have very nearly been our second caution of the day. Keeps it together as now his teammate J Taurus going to go around his outside. Quentin Moore kind of pinned down on the bottom of the racetrack. You normally don't hear that unless you're maybe at Bristol. J Schwallenberg way back there went up to the 3rd lane. There's no grip up there as Osborne all over the back bumper of Brad Stover. That's not for position. Stover is a lap machine. Had to make an unscheduled pit stop at the initial pacing lap. J Gehrdes was battling for the moment with Arthur Xavier. Here's Z Stultz looking for the 10th position. Actually make that, that was actually a battle for 9th between Chung and Stultz as Tristan Allen had to dart up to the top side to avoid running over the 44. He may lose a spot here to J Gehrdes. That's a battle for 11th. This looks like S Ozkan is scampered away from N Amoedo. Pedro Lucas, Natan's teammate, right now in that 5th position. Trying to close up the gap here on Rob Evans. RJ Bishop trying to close up on Michael Roode. Let's take a look at our top 5 drivers and see who's laid down the fastest lap this time around. 29.365 for Robinson. 29.279 for Roode, so he was faster. Bishop was even faster with a 2.66. Evans with a 2.46. So it looks like out of the top 5, Rob Evans was the fastest. Pedro Lucas had a 3.46. So right now on the long run, Rob Evans has the faster race car, currently in that 4th position. But time is ticking away for him to get up here and do something about trying to win this race, as Michael Wayne Robinson just hit 4 laps to go. Drop back here, it's about 0.8 of a second according to our monitor from S Ozkan back to N Amoedo, and right now Natan's got bigger things to worry about. He's got D Poteet all over his back bumper. That would be for 7th place. That is technically first loser of the drivers that are trying to transfer into the main event. And probably here in this one, just in terms of how they're racing, is the only thing we'll be able to take away from the non-charter race and apply to the main event later on today. Remember how we were able to, at Darlington last week, figure out what the fuel window was and everything? Well, these drivers can make it this 20 laps. They got 50 laps to run when we eventually have the main event later. So, you know, we aren't going to get any idea of what the fuel window really is until we get to the race later on today. 2 laps to go was just taken by Michael Wayne Robinson. Came on to replace Mike Wiley at KB Racing Enterprises. Has made the last 2 starts. Has finished extremely well in both. And the momentum just continues for this Valvoline Mustang. Michael Wayne Robinson about to come around and receive the white flag. He's looking for his first checkered flag of the season, albeit in a non-charter race. But I'll tell you what, with the run that he's on right now, I wouldn't put it past a driver like him to kind of pull a Chris Dollerton, win a charter race, and make his way up into the playoffs with 10 career starts. I mean, he's about to be en route to making his 3rd start of the season. He'll have, 13 races in the second half of the regular season to try and make 7 more starts. But he's going to pick up the win and transfer today. Fuel Motorsports Park belongs to Michael Wayne Robinson. Michael Roode will cross 2nd. RJ Bishop 3rd. Rob Evans, Pedro Lucas, and S Ozkan are all going to transfer into the main event here later on today for the Sunoco 400. N Amoedo will finish in 7th with Poteet, Chung, and Stultz bringing up the top 10. As Michael Wayne Robinson, as mentioned, Back-to-back starts so far. Both finishes have been inside the top 10. Average finishing position of 4th. A runner-up included amongst that, and now he will go a perfect 3 for 3, 3 in a row. That he will be starting the main event later on today here at Fuel Motorsports Park. And let's just bear in mind that his teammate Keith Batson won the first dirt track race here this season at the Springfield Mile. So no doubt about it, looks like the KB Racing Fords have got their dirt program pretty well up to par. Here's a look at the finishing results. Brad Stover really never even got to be in the conversation for this win, as he had to come to pit road under the initial pace lap. And then drivers back here like Dylan Schwallenberg, Seth Cole, and Dawson Wise had to fight damage they sustained from our first and only caution here today. But Michael Wayne Robinson, Michael Roode, RJ Bishop, Rob Evans, Pedro Lucas, and S Ozkan, they transfer into the main event. Rob Evans will be making his first career Duracell Cup Series start, so good on him. We'll look forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do when he takes to the track for the first time with points on the line. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. Your top 6 drivers are transferring into the 50-lap main event coming up later on today. We'll see you guys then. I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.